ために最も必要なもの、それは運です。
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Project Webtoons podcast, where we bring all the latest, hottest of all those comics and tunes coming from across the interways. As always, it is me, it's your big man, Sleepy.
What's going on, y'all? It's your friend Seraph here.
Hey.
This is Arctic.
It is Arctic Dragoon. In a little bit of a scratchy voice. Are you okay?
Is it scratchy?
It's just a little
Little
scratchy.
bit.
It's your mic though, probably, so it's not you. It's all right. Yeah, I know. Well, as always, I'm glad you boys could join us again for another edition. As always, our fans out there who enjoy listening to all our very stupid and very disjointed ramblings as we go through each of our favorite series. Of course, we know with Solo Leveling, Let's Play, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, Peerless Dad, and many more. If you haven't already, please, as always, go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed any of our content as well as the episode. And if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe so you can be notified and updated of any of the big stuff that comes out. But let's go ahead. I definitely want to jump into this week because I think we're going to close it down, see how it's going out. But how you boys feeling so far? I know, Seraph, you're a little ragged today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you're hanging in there with us. So, Ark, how you doing?
Night too.
Yup, you're gonna do it all over again.
Run it back.
Run it back one more time. Ark, how you doing?
I'm dead.
That's good. That's very good. You can't.
Stop that.
No,
Stop that.
you can't. There is so much more Let's Play in Lore Olympus to read. At least until the end. Then we'll talk about it again. At
I don't
least.
know, that's enough.
Well, it should be because we got plenty to discuss. But I want to go ahead and let's jump in here into our first one out of the gate with the Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. 2 chapters coming for us here. The disaster is upon us, ever closer. From the previous 2 chapters. And we got introduced to a new old character in those previous chapters as well. And to say shit wasn't really going sideways is kind of an understatement for our main character. But of course, as the story goes with him, he's already 1 to 2 steps ahead of the situation. And he's able to take on, I don't know, what was her name again? Untelis? I don't know how to say it properly. The parasite guardian? Antilus?
Queen.
Yeah, I would call it Ant Queen. Had possessed one of the other characters who herself she's supposed to be more or less a healer, I guess, a legendary healer.
Mm-hmm.
For
and also the MCs in the novels. Love her.
Yes, his love interest, at least one of them that we know so far. Yeah, so she was possessed and being controlled by the Guardian, who apparently we now find out is trying more or less to terraform the planet, but doing so against the rules of the Guardians themselves, in which they're not really supposed to be there to fight for the humans or really attack them either. They're just supposed to be there to help. And apparently, I guess, you can just break those rules. There's no set in stone restriction that keeps you from doing so. So that's good to know in the long run. Now, her plan being is to awaken the disaster ahead of schedule. But she doesn't really state what that's going to do to help her exactly.
It's not to help her.
Is it more or less just to further the destruction faster?
Yeah, there's like no point to it.
Okay.
All it is she's just like so vindictive that she's like, oh no, because the Earthlings get a chance, but we didn't get a fucking chance, so fuck the Earthlings.
Okay, so she didn't. So even her previous speech was more or less truly meaningless then. She wasn't really trying to terraform or save her people. It was really just fuck the humans all along.
Yeah, because it was like, yeah, she was trying to terraform, but like it's irrelevant because it's ultimately when Lycan shows up, he's like, why are you doing this? Because we were given a chance that if we helped the Earthlings, then we will get our world back. And she's like, well, fuck the Earthlings, and that's basically what that went.
Well, okay. After seeing also later on what the Calamity ends up being, it's revealed like she kind of has a vindictive streak against the humans because specifically how her world falls. So it kind of makes sense for her to want to like, all right, I want all of them dead, and they don't deserve to have a chance because of how my world was taken down. But at the same time, it's like, it seemed at the beginning she wanted more or less to do the, why wouldn't she go along with the plan if it meant still rebuilding her world? She could still, in the long run, make some secret plan, and then I'm still going to take over the humans. I'm just going to use them to a certain degree. So it seems like her plan shifted like 2 or 3 times during that whole gambit anyway.
It definitely is that she was being manipulated to do it. Because
okay, because I mean,
that's why we get to the point where they reveal that what's his name, the little W.E.B.T.O.O.N whatever is like a level 3 version who's like, oh yeah, he has way more like administrative rights, and he's definitely like doing shit to like egg things on. He's like, this scenario is definitely something that like is accelerated because of him and not because of like
anything that MC's
the
doing
was like really actually planned, because like that's why the MC was like, wait, why are you doing this? Because like you weren't like this in the novel, basically. Like this is completely different from what is actually known.
Yeah, I mean it's not an expected outcome that he foresaw. So something is changing the book even unbeknownst to him. And if they can just change characters' motivations, then yeah. So it was just that whole twist transition where even when the Lycan like brings up the fact like, yeah, if we help them, we can get our worlds back. So I'm like, so he makes that comment like, okay, everyone's got a hidden motivation using things, but if that was their original goal and now she's just throwing that goal away to a completely different goal, it stands to reason that yeah, the W.E.B.T.O.O.N is probably doing something behind the scenes that are changing things. So the 3 that we saw before have more administrative rights and apparently no real oversight of trouble from what could occur from this, I'm guessing, or whatnot. But yeah, if they're able to just advance the scenarios without having to worry about how the constellations or anything will, deem this, if it just seems to go to show that, the story can progress in any one direction, however it seems fit to go. But Ant Queen's taken care of, but the disaster is awoken before they're able to actually dispatch her. And it turns out that it is more or less a regressed hero like the MC. A person who is sent to another world, given, I guess, some level of these are the evil people you need to destroy, and just lays waste to it. And it's specifically called the Disaster of Answers. Or Questions, sorry. The Disaster of Questions.
Yeah, he's just... If you've read Return of the Hero, he's just that, where he just... Man, I'm just this asshole who vindictively came back from an isekai and...
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like a
yeah.
of heroes for this one character.
And I was like, oh, okay, so it's Return of the Hero, but...
No one who
understand why he is the way he is either. So.
No, there hasn't been anything shown in the same way as Return of the Hero to like make him a psycho. It seems like he was already kind of a psycho.
Yeah, like he was just like, he was already kind of crazy, and then like he got to like, oh yeah, I reached godhood, and then now he's just like vindictive because like it looks like they sealed like all his abilities away, so he's just like, well, fuck this shit. And also This is like the weirdest and worst seal I've ever heard of. All right. You can increase your ability if people answers your questions, and I'm like, what? What? How is this a seal on him? This seems so arbitrarily, stupidly powerful for no reason.
Because
who would even like figure that out immediately? The only way you would figure this out is if you were either an actual regressor who's fought it before, or B, who's like the main character who's like, oh yeah, I've read the book, I know exactly who this character is.
Yeah, I know exactly how your powers work. Yes, it does seem like a very ineffective lock on power, especially since the answers don't have to actually be anything toward the question he asks. It more or less can be.
It sounds like as long as the intent is to answer the question, it answers the question.
As long as it's a response, it works, and that's all he really needs.
If the question is like, "Who are you?" and you're like, "I'm nobody," and then he's like, "Thank you for answering," and you're like, "What? That's not even an answer, though."
I mean, it works the same way. It's like, "Is that your boyfriend?" You don't even have to verbally respond. If it's just a kind of thing, it's like, "Well, you're looking at me with disgust and intent." That's an answer. Thanks. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird, fucked up seal for him, and I'm guessing it's supposed to be so because, I mean, if he's supposed to be a disaster that you not only need a guardian level like power to help you with, and also have to either learn or unlock some specific ability, it stands to reason that, yeah, he's gonna probably be overly overpowered for any reason's sake. So, I mean, and granted, the MC's already faced one disaster level creature. Why not make the next one almost slightly more stupid broken for him? Otherwise, it's just another cakewalk. He got whatever skill he probably needed that could potentially give him the edge. Here, it seems more like, I wasn't really prepared for this. I was hoping to stop this before it would get to this point, but now it's pretty much just throw everything at the wall. Which is exactly what seemingly his plan is. He tells everyone, just attack. It's gotta die. It's gotta die. I don't really know what else to do beyond that. It just needs to die. Yeah, so we'll have to see what weird ass plan he's gonna pull out of his ass for this one. I'm sure that it's either something in the background that he made a mention of or commented about, or, collected on the way there that will hopefully, I'm gonna guess, help him. If anything, we might see the actual MC of the novel maybe help, since he's still technically under the tryst to not kill him yet, right? Correct?
Yeah, he's also kind of poisoned at the moment.
He is. I don't know how long the poison lasts, but I expect that he might need to come in for some level of help, even if he is slightly backed in power. He's still more powerful than most of the other individuals that they could run into. And granted, his other comments could show up at any point too, since we've already had one appear from nowhere, really. So, any suggestions, thoughts, or wants you want from the next story or next bit of the chapter? No.
No.
Nope. All right.
Oh wait, no. We have the bit where we find out there's a new scenario, guys. We're just going to tell everyone that, hey, there's this guy that you guys can beat, and maybe you guys can win some points. Oh, and I was like, oh, okay, well, you're an asshole. Why would you do this? But I guess.
I mean, everyone in this story is kind of an asshole.
Answer his question, guys. Why would you? Okay, first off, if you knew he was an enemy, why would you even answer his question? I'd be like, what? I would just answer back with a question my own and be like, what? Who are you? Well, that's not answering my question. I don't think I should at all, right? Like, you don't answer back, right? You're just like, no, this seems like a bad idea.
What the creepy cave looking guy showing up wasn't off-putting enough? It's okay.
I have no idea, because it was just like, why would you even answer his question? And then after it going like horrifically wrong the first time, why would you answer the question the second time? Be like, yeah, let's just keep doing this, guys. It obviously looked like it worked the first time, guys.
I mean, the worst laid plans, really. It's all it is. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll move out of Omniscient Reader here to our next one with our favorite of all the game devs in Let's Play. 2 chapters here. Two actually kind of nice slow chapters. I don't know if you got a chance to actually read these 2, Seraph, at all.
Yeah, this is the one where she talks with the pink-haired girl.
Yep.
With
Monica, yeah.
And then she plays video games with Marshall.
Yes.
don't
Marshall
know
hit.
if it's
All
Marshall
right. Marshall not confirmed. Marshall.
Yeah,
Because of
we don't know if our peer is Marshall yet. Okay.
The one with the Shakespeare mod.
with the Shakespearean mod.
A third-party person. All right.
Yes. No, but the chapter between her and Monica and her getting like some actually good advice was really nice. Really nice all around, just to see the whole thing just sit and basically just take place in one area with her just going over all of her current worries and how, you know, we see how much like Sam's mental state really is, like her maturity level to certain things, and getting that outside help from another person who at first she probably thought of as more aggressive and even combative to a person, to an enemy, to someone she'd never met, to now like actually lean and rely on her more. And granted, we were wondering how like Monica would be reintroduced back into the story since her and Marshall split. This does at least help bring her back into the fold a little bit more, especially for what she asked Sam to do with keeping an eye on Marshall. So this at least does show that she still cares for Marshall and will probably see her maybe reappear in front of him again, and they'll either maybe talk or reconnect about some things. But did you enjoy like her bringing back the whole the morning with Charles arc?
Well, I mean, kind of.
When she asked just very blatantly, it's like, oh, did you bust a nut?
Oh, you mean that part? I mean, yeah, that was funny as fuck, but it was fine.
Yeah. Like, she didn't need even a second to think on it, just like, oh, it's fine. Let me see here. Yeah, so no, that was super nice. And then yeah, the second half the second chapter there with her running a game with the unknown player, the RPer, and getting to sit down and talk with that person. Sam showing more of her caring side to an unknown individual who she's just trying to help in the game, and then very quickly she runs into Marshall right after that. I don't know if the writer is trying to be very thick, like we can all clearly kind of tell that this is Marshall, or if this is supposed to be a mislead.
Could be a psych.
I mean, you kind of think so.
I'm just saying, it very much feels like it's a psych. Okay?
It does. I mean, the character design of the player has the same hairstyle as Marshall. The fact that, you know, the moment that she got done in the game, Marshall is outside, like waiting patiently. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know how thick you're either trying to lay it on, or if this is like, yes, I want you to think this, and then find out it's somebody else entirely.
I mean, it wouldn't be like out of the realm of possibility. How
awful would it be if it was Link's brother?
I mean, that's why I was like, it could be like there's so many characters right now that it could end up being like just really 81, honestly.
Yeah. That would be pretty interesting to see though. But yeah, don't want to sit here and just wildly speculate all across the board. Yeah. But beyond that, not too much else to bite on those two chapters. Just really more of a nice slowdown from all of the situations and the tenseness that we had before. I'm gonna guess in maybe the next chapter or so we'll either get a continuation of Sam and Marshall having discussions of her game, or if we'll go back and we might see Charles having found a way to relax his issue. Since since he's still pretty pent up about everything that's kind of going on, but we'll have to see. I know I haven't read ahead yet. I can't say the same for you, Ark. I don't know if you bought the next couple chapters ahead or not.
Not this one.
Okay. I do know that this is one that we do tend to drop a little bit of coin on every so often. So, all right. But though, anything else that I missed in those two chapters? Anything else you guys wanted to bring up? Nope. All right. We'll go ahead. We'll move on here from Let's Play to our next one, over with one we haven't seen in a little bit, but dropped 4 chapters out of the blue here for us in Inso's Law. Ark, I'm going to go ahead and let you take this one if you can. I know there was a little more interpersonal stuff here.
Our girl is going out on a not date thing. I don't know. I guess a not date thing.
It's
with the blonde hair guy, the white hair guy.
Yoon.
Yeah, and I guess they go to like a birthday party for his brother. His Yoon's dad gives this weird speech, and then she's like, I didn't get that. And he goes, what do you not get? All of it? Like, I don't get really what you're trying to say there, but whatever makes you feel good about it, I guess. And then we have it where, what happens next? Nothing really interesting happens besides the fact that we get, like, a bunch of, like, she gets to experience, I guess, the world of the rich people who's like, hey, this is what we do. We gossip about, like, nonsense, I guess. And then she's like, oh wait, you guys are rich too. Who's like the twins and a bunch of other stuff. Where it's like, I didn't realize you guys were all from rich families. And it's like, oh, of course they are, because they're all, this is Inso's Law, so obviously they're all from rich families. And that's kind of where we're at. Oh no, then we get what's her name?
Sure, you.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I want to talk to Yoon and like correct it, and he goes, why? We had this discussion already.
We already
had.
What
else do you need to say?
There is no misunderstanding. I understood quite well. Yeah. I kind of was a little off, like when she's like, oh, all these people are rich, and it's like, you know this, like every one of your friends outside of Euro Yang is like a blood descendant of one of the like top industrial or fashion or whatever families currently. So yeah, when she got there, she's like, oh, I didn't know that this was going to be a function of rich people. Like, okay.
I feel like you
should know this, even from
she knew it was a function of rich people. She didn't know that these rich people were like friends of hers too. Like, they were. These other people in Class B are also rich people. Like, basically, that's what that was.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Just the amount of people that are directly linked to her are also wealthy and well off. Okay, yeah. But the other bit there with Yoon just basically all in his thoughts with how he came to even be friends with her from the past, where he was more or less extremely jaded and cold to every person. And this is more so because of his upbringing than anything, where he is he is more or less being groomed to be the new head of the family, and just more or less believes that everyone that either talks to him or associates in some way is trying to get either close or getting face so that they can potentially be in a better position when he takes over for the family at some point. So the fact that when he meets her and she's more or less extremely cold to him right away, that she just doesn't care, but it's not just to him, it's to almost everybody. It seems like, you know, he sees a bit of himself in her with the way that she reacts, and he's not 100% sure why. So for him to like go through all of that and then come back out and they're at the party and she sees him like reminiscing on this, that was at least a nice little introspective into at least his mind. Not to mention it also plays off later on when we see it's Ihun, the red-haired one, is I saying his name properly, when he's supposedly supposed to be at the function as well, but he is not attending because he's apparently supposed to be the leech of, I'm not sure whose family. Did they say whose family it was again? It was one of the collectives? Okay. Yeah. They say, yeah, they just treat him as more or less a sidecar for some stuff, and he's not showing up for that reason. So, all of those individuals in each of their intertwined stories with how they like all have their own personal little issues with either their upbringings or their current situations, and then that all coming back once we meet up with Cho Yuri again. And kind of surprising that, you know, she would appear even in front of them after it was more or less all of them that threatened her to not be in the school anymore. So I'm kind of surprised that she's even trying to make a play to like talk to Eugene at all.
Maybe? I don't know. It seems so weird because I was like, okay, for what purpose are you doing this? Like,
I mean, I guess we should look at the playbook of any of the romance like shoujos in here and see like how that kind of fits in.
I guess it's weird. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that is true. And her plan didn't really bear any fruit, but the fact that, yeah, she got threatened by every individual, you would think that, okay, so this is just the exit for this character, but she's continuing to reappear. So I don't know if that means her role is going to be larger than intended, or if that itself is a trope in romance books as well, or at least the romance shoujos. Yeah,
something.
It's obviously going to be something.
And then at the end, it starts off with them having this blonde girl who I did not remember at all who it was. Do you remember who it was?
No.
No, right?
The only blonde I can think of is Rudal.
Yeah, I was like, that's not Rudal. So, right? Is it? I don't know why there's a blonde here.
No, I don't remember. I don't know if I remember seeing like anyone in the background, or if there was someone that like they ran into and then we haven't seen in a while. I don't think I remember any other blondes outside of Rudal, unfortunately. So yeah. Yeah, we could go through and go back and check, but I don't know, maybe this is a whole new character to fit in for somebody else, possibly. I mean, so far it's only those two at the function, but I believe Woojin is supposed to be there as well, right? So I think all the kids are supposed to show up, other than Ban and Yuhin, who are now seemingly like they're going to show up anyway. So I believe everyone's about to show up at the party. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is going to be an introduction for maybe another person to clash with for Dan I. But yeah. Anything else on those though? Anything else that you had comment on, you two?
No.
No? I don't know if you read through those at all there, Seraph. I think I just noticed them like 2 days ago, so I don't know if those dropped all at once or if that was a gradual release.
I've read them.
Okay. No problem then, yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I got from at least those two, at least until we get the next couple of chapters there. What was up, Ark?
Nothing.
Oh, okay, you're just stretching. No problem. All right. Okay, we'll move on here from the Grand's Law to up the Great Mountains in the Trial of the Century in Lower Olympus. Got a
The Trial of the Century.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a great one, but it's going well. Yeah, so
Well.
it's starting to turn better. There's at least some bettering things coming out of it. Well, so far, after the very, very deliberately shit accusations, the key witnesses, the surprise witness, and everything else that's happened, we got Persephone now more or less on the stand, defending her position after the journal is found out, and she's accused of more or less this being evidence that she wants to secretly take over the underworld. But this turns out that I don't remember if actual mythology states that Persephone is the one that wants to do that, or if that's her has any way of like in her involvement. But I know that she is the like protector of that area, where she basically brings to Hades that, you know, when everyone dies, you know, they get a shit deal. If they're good or bad, everyone goes to the same spot. You know, they just go into hell. And she proposed now creating an area where those good few people more or less get to have a happy place inside of Hades, and that would be Elysium.
Yeah, she wants to make Elysium, yes.
Mhm.
So and this was more out of the sheer, not solely the sheer kindness of just to Hades, but her trying to pay penance for all the people that she killed accidentally. And she explains all of that to the courts and, you know, all of the logistics, and Hades more or less kind of like turns around, of course, and turns on all of his brothers and sisters, and it's just, you know, how this
all of
thing,
you guys, why?
yeah, how
all you guys do the same ass shit, alright?
how instantly,
all humans all the fucking time.
yes, more or less using legal recourse to show that like God's killing people is not really a punishable offense for anything, since all of us do it on a regular damn basis. Zeus going out and fucking random people, you know, someone getting drunk and going on a massacre, whatever it is. It's just, it's almost a natural state that a god just does this. And that as long as there's enough humans to sustain them as well as pray for the gods, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's meaningless. But not just that, the fact that, you know, they could see this book and instantly think that, oh, because it involves Hades, this must be some evil plan, and there is no other logical thought towards that. So we just may or less get a couple chapters of Hades just raining shit on the rest of the council, including fucking not Persephone, her mom as well. And yeah, I'm pretty safe to say that the trial seems like it might be done-ish. I don't know what Apollo's plan here has come into play yet, since he seems to be sitting in some area of the court waiting for some bullshit verdict to come through. But yeah.
It's fine. We have a recess for 2 days now, guys. Just arbitrarily. Like, Zeus is like, well, Hades is calling me out.
I can't handle all of the shit that I'm taking right now. Since what was it that he said? It was more or less about him cheating on his wife again, wasn't it?
What is it?
I can't remember. She basically calls out somebody, and it I know it's supposed to do with specifically with Zeus as well. But but she calls out somebody, and he's basically like, before we get to talking to that, let's just take a break. Because he clearly doesn't want more shit.
He called Apollo and Argus with Leto first already. So that was basically already someone who like Zeus fucked over once already. And then basically Hades was going to continue going down that list of like, all right, see now we're gonna do this. I'm gonna show you why you're wrong. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then Hades was like, now why are we punishing this beautiful young lady? Or like he went like grandeur. Like,
yeah, he went overly grandiose.
Persephone. And then Demeter's like, I need to talk to my daughter. And she's like, why is Hades in love with you? And yeah, that's where we end with the chapter.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, the whole spiel for it all was just was great to go through. And just watching Hades get to like vent all of his frustrations, at least on all of the people that more or less think down or think very impurely of him for no reason, more or less out of the fault of his two brothers.
Not even just because he's the two brothers. It's not like Hades and Hera is like a secret really beforehand. That's why it's like, oh, okay, everyone kind of basically already knows about Hera and also everything else. So
yeah,
there's no actual secret behind this.
It's more or less just not a secret as much as an unspoken like blemish on everyone's like on their past, like just something they're uncomfortable about, but it's not a hidden.
Again, I
hidden
think
truth.
everyone also understands that, like, you know, the like circle of like gods that we have here is a really small pantheon, right? So everyone at some point fucked everyone, right? Yeah, basically.
Everyone's probably messed with everybody by this standpoint. It's not exactly like new gods are being born left and right, unfortunately. So, not to mention some of the older gods are still around. They don't really make their presence known. That's kind of what it is, as we can see from fucking Thanatos and his mom. Yeah. So, 2-day break. While I don't know if this is supposed to be for deliberation or just for Zeus to hope that everyone kind of forgets the shit that's been, shouted out loud for a bit. But either way, oh no, I read those chapters and I can't say those two things. I'll have to ask you.
I don't know. I know exactly what you're saying.
I know
exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I won't talk about those. I read ahead for sure on that bit. But yeah, so we're waiting for at least the more or less the actual sit down between Demeter and Persephone, and her discussing at least the fact that she's not an idiot and can see that very much Hades is infatuated with her, and he is doing more effort to protect and somewhat get her recognition than he would probably for any of the other gods. And then also when Persephone and Hades will have a chance to talk after everything that's gone down as well. So some shit is going to be flying soon, so I'm more than interested to see how that plays out. But yeah, Seraph, any comments from you on these two chapters though?
Not at all.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, it just fun. This trial is going all over the place. As much I could say is this is even a trial as it is just a long TMZ article happening in real time for the gods more than anything. But yeah, anything though left on those two chapters you guys wanted to bring up? Anything at all? Ark, Seraph?
No.
Nope. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll move on to our next one here. Seraph, I don't know if you read this one. Next chapter for Peerless Dad.
The Dad.
195.
Yep.
All right, I'll let you go ahead and take this one.
That was when they went to the mountains. His daughter is like, we should go punish them. He's like, what you mean? Yes, go punish them. He's like, all right, bet.
Bad people, punish. Aight.
Yeah, so then he just goes up to the mountain. He sees like the old guy at the mountain, and the bandits show up later the night. He he squares up with the bandits' leaders and says, "Hey man, you guys just shouldn't be here." And then they get into a little fight, quote unquote. Warrior Nova would have beat the living crap out of him.
A little bitch slap contest.
I'm gonna hold back, and then the guys run away, and then his buddies question him like, "Why'd you let him leave like that? Because you killed him?" And he just goes, "Well, they're just gonna call their buddies to come by, and then I'll just beat the crap out of them all together."
Yep.
To punish them and make sure that they never do this dumb stuff again.
Very much showing off a full thought out plan here with the bandits, and the idea being behind it is that he's not doing it because it's solely the right thing to do, but the group needs to start earning some recognition for their deeds, and this would be one of the things.
Bring up their mercenary group.
Yeah, this would be one of the things that they would have done. Like he said, I would have done when I was back as a mercenary. Would be just I'd be hired to take care of outside jobs the government or any of the heavenly schools wouldn't care to do. So
being the problem solver.
Yeah, exactly. Be the problem fixer for the actual locals. And the planning though that he does with getting there and scoping out and seeing like, okay, the reason that the subjugation groups and all the things didn't work finding these guys is because they're always moving and they know they're not going to engage in a fight that they can't win. So there's probably scouts, there's other things, you move in a big force, they're just going to avoid you. But he rolls in and plays the part of, oh, they don't realize that we're a part of the sects. They think we're the bandit group, so they just play that role until the bandits show up. They, of course, and confront him, give him the warning that, this is owned by another group of bandits. And, he's doing it to intimidate, squares up, and then goes through that whole spiel about, okay, I gotta hit him, but I gotta play it real smart about how much I hit him. It's just gotta be enough to know that I won't back down, but not so much that it's gonna knock his ass the fuck out. So, yeah, that whole thing of I'm doing this I'm attracting one, but I'm really trying to catch them all. So, Warrior now just continuing to show his betterment at being a tactician on the battlefield more and more. Like it continues to grow each time. So we'll have to see if it'll bear fruit. I'm sure it will, since this is a mission. This is solely a mission, not only to gain the group recognition, but also to get the rest of the members into training more, to get them to, up their martial arts beyond what they've already had. I don't know if they may be getting close to a semi break here, because I know this was only one chapter. We usually get 2 or 3 between each episode, so yeah, I was a little surprised that we only got 1, not 2 to close it out to see, but I'm pretty positive that either the bandits got something else up their sleeve, or maybe we'll even see the introduction of another brother, since I know that the other ones that are still out there are currently running as bandits and mercenaries still. And I know with the loss of Ak, we are one group, we are one member short here, so we'll have to see.
One member short and one member of the brains being gone as well.
Yes.
Because Uncle Ak was the one who was able to handle almost anything when it came to political work.
Yeah, the logistics were all his bread and butter, so we've kind of got someone to take over that, and he's done a pretty damn good job, especially getting the one son kind of twisted and fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
this is a little snippet of the kids with the new big brother.
Yep,
well.
We got to see them in their little training montage.
Something's wrong with little sister.
Oh, she's a fucking demon.
Yes.
She is a straight smoke demon.
I think he's talking about like
I'm talking about
she
the
looked
headache.
like yeah.
Oh, the headache.
You know, like they said that
yeah.
she's been having pains
Having headache
in the head
pains.
more recently, and I
Mhm.
don't know if that's gonna be related to her inner energy fighting back, or she's having a breakthrough
Maybe.
potentially.
I mean, she's out of the three, she has been the only one that has been very controlled about her powers, and isn't so quick to try and use them or display them off. So maybe this is a potential breakthrough for her as well. I haven't seen the two twins in a while, so
The chivalrous wild duo.
yep. But I know that they are still training with all of the masters currently, so maybe this is more shine for her, and we'll see what she can do if this is
Since we get to
potential
see Big Blonde back again as well, because I was thinking that he was going to become Warrior No's disciple as well.
that. Mhm.
And that's what it slowly.
And that's what it-
become
yeah.
as, and I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, it's slowly seeming like that, and it wouldn't be bad for him to have another disciple outside of the kids, since we know that they're well taken care of in their studies for what they got. So yeah, but yeah, beyond that, nothing too much else to bite on there. Anything though that you wanted to bring up, Ark, on that one chapter?
Oh.
Nope. All right then. All right then, we'll go ahead. We'll move on to our next one with the final battle of the world going down in solo leveling. Seraph, I know you're probably more caught up on this than any of us.
I'm gonna finish a light novel.
Okay, so we are at an end of the light novel currently.
Yep, we're starting to reach the end.
Okay.
I would probably give it like maybe 5:56.
Okay, I kind of figured that we feels like we're getting close to an end because
If I remember right, that's how it's done.
yeah.
And then there are epilogue stories as well,
Okay, yeah, we'll probably
like
get
extra epilogues that we might get if they do that too.
Yeah. It definitely seems like these last two chapters were more a filler to stretch out to that, because you know, we got the chapter of, you know, the fight beginning and the plan being laid out with Sun going through and separating the Dragon King from his armies, and then him meeting him one-on-one on the battlefield, only to basically whisk him away all the way back to his island where I believe the giant died, and he was gonna go in and hold him down there, and that would be where they would square off. And then this chapter right after that opens up with the guild master and Miss Seer talking and discussing about like all the hunters around the world fighting. So I'm like, okay, this is more filler to just kind of round things out before, you know, they either get hands down to the true full battle. And right after we have that little like exposition, it jumps back over to Sung as he's battling down the Dragon King. And it's definitely not just a quick power trip either, since he's got a lesser amount of his army here, and he still has the rest of his summons fighting the Dragon King's army elsewhere. And he is at least throwing, you know, somewhat seemingly his full strength at the Dragon King, but he's more or less playing with him. And they do have this just exchange of dialogue, you know. I see, you know, I like that, you know, the goal that I like to do is usually throw toy with my enemies and get them in a corner, but it's interesting when that thing gets done to me. So this is kind of a new thing for me to enjoy. And he quickly shows him, he's like, yeah, but that is really meaningless, you're still gonna have to come with more. And then he offers him a mercy play to join forces and take on the rulers, which was the original goal of the previous Shadow Monarch at first, but he knows that most of everything that they've done has been a double cross, so I don't know why he think that would work again, or if he was just doing it because he sees him as different, so he wanted to extend the offer, but it was meaningless at the end of the day, and those two basically get back to, you know, the battle again. So I don't know if the final battle will actually come down to the rulers of him defeating the Dragon King and the rulers appearing, or the rulers coming before that happens. I don't know if there was an actual rule or prophecy that states how that goes. Seraph, you can either like or a nay to any of those questions. 100%.
Plead the fifth.
Okay. I really hope it isn't just going to turn into God shows up and all over again, and I wasn't dead, I was doing this because enjoyment all over again. That would give all over into Ark's pessimistic vision of how this should end. But yeah, it does seem low that we're kind of at that final battle sequence, and we're just now getting down to just getting the fight out of the way, the actual struggle here. So, Ark, any suggestions or any wants from the final bits of the chapters here? Like, what are you at least looking like? What do you want from this to end with? Or is it pretty much like meh at this point for you? No?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know what you would want from this to like end it, or?
I have no expectations.
Okay. You're just like, you're just, I will see what it does and I will judge it on that kind of thing.
Yeah, like what if, you know, we're at the end here, so that we'll see what happens when the end happens. That's all it is.
What happens if it ends and then you just see a hand put a controller down? You're like, well, that was fun, and then the screen and it just goes, thanks for reading.
Thanks for watching.
Wouldn't that be great?
I'd be fine.
You'd be fine with that. That would be fine. All right. Yeah, not too much else here until we get to that final end. I don't know if maybe we'll get a really big splash ending page, or if we'll get a big final chapter here along with the epilogues at the same time, how they want to end this out. But yeah, it seems like we're ready for the end of this at this point, so we'll see how that all goes down. Any last comments on solo leveling for those two chapters? Nope. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll move on for our second to last here. The skeleton couldn't protect the dungeon. Ark, what's Skelly Boy doing right now?
He helped the captain of that ship do whatever they were supposed to do, and then
he helped them do whatever they were supposed to do. He helped them steal. He stole their shit. That was what they needed.
Yeah, he stole their shit, but like hid everything, so it's fine. So it's fine.
He made sure they didn't get arrested for smuggling. That's about all he did.
Yeah, that's fine. And then they were like, well, join the Black Guild, because apparently you find out the Black Guild is like a secret organization designed to fight against the Emperor, and you were like,
I mean, come on.
Why are you guys a rebellion? This is so weird, but okay, I guess.
I mean, why wouldn't the black market be against a government body?
Because why would they in the first place? Like, that's the thing. A black market, like, depends on the government body. They would never be against the government body, because, like, yeah, we exist because the government body exists, though. Like, it is easier to just pass along money than be like, oh, we're gonna fight against the government. No, you fight the devils you know. And like, why would they ever get rid of the government if like they didn't know what was gonna be set in place of the other, like in place of it? Like that's basically it. Why would you so the black market is to get rid of the emperors because they already know the secret and be like, nah, he's like this thing that we have to get rid of. Not actually because like they want to get rid of the government.
I mean, I guess they haven't really given motivation yet for like why they hate the Imperials, but it's not too surprising that a secret body that also happens to be a band of merchants and shit also wouldn't, be a group against the Imperials, since almost every secret group we've come across in some way is either with the Imperials or fighting against them, really. So it almost seems very unusual if you find a group that's secret and is not for any side. They just exist and don't care.
Yes.
At least so far in the story. It would be probably more surprising if we did run across any group that was like that. But yeah, so he at least has collected the final black card and is now able to become a full member. And more or less the reason that they wanted him to join was because he has, and he showed them the inventory.
The inventory.
He literally has, I can smuggle anything of any size, and it is in completely,
there is no way you can tell I hid shit.
Yeah, it's completely invisible to anything.
It is literally in another dimension. You can't see it at all. And like, the black market captain guy is definitely right. Where it's like, no. Even if you weren't against the Imperials, we would be like, we want to buy this off of you. We will buy you because this is an important smuggling thing. Like, you can't imagine the weight of how much of an ability this actually costs.
I mean, from their perspective, yeah, I can see that. Especially if you're a smuggler, it's like, that is the greatest tool for us in any situation. Like, that's almost priceless. There's nothing that they could give that would ever be worth the amount of what they could gain from that. It's just unspeakable for them. So yeah, I don't know if this means that he specifically is working, because I mean, the membership supposedly just gives him access supposedly to certain things and certain accessories. I don't know if membership means he actually works with them or works for them in some way, because it seems like they don't only want him to be a member, but they strictly want to recruit him.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's at least a finishing of an adventure part that he's been on since the beginning here. That we were waiting to see the full fruits of, and now we have actually got to that. I don't know if this will, gain him some new armor, at least of anything, because he's been in that suit for quite a while. And
no, we need that class up. Okay.
I mean, he classed up once. He became wasn't a skeleton knight.
Yeah, the knight.
Yeah, he did class up once. So
no, he needs to class up to that mystery class, and we don't know what the fuck that is for. But we all know, like, as gamers, that's the fucking like, that's that secret quest there. We need that shit.
He needs to get to the sculptor class.
Yes.
That's secretly better than everything. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even know where his goal is on getting back to that, since he hasn't brought it up in a while. So I don't know if he's trying to rush his ass to that, really, especially since Isaac has more or less given him I don't want to say purpose, but at least direction to what he should be doing. So he's got still the adventure, though, to finish finding the rest of the individuals who are connected to that one author's group. I forget what the group is called again, or the network.
The 7 characters.
The 7 characters that he needs to meet in order to gain something. But at least him now having...
It's just side quests upon side quests, guys.
I mean, it's hard to tell if it's a side quest, seemingly, if it's an actual, like, main quest for this point, because him even learning about that was a side quest to itself, but that ended up becoming now actually part of the main story. Like, oh no, this you need to do because this all leads into Kevin Ashton and you need to find him. So this is actually extremely important. So at least he's done with the Merchant's Guild quest. So he's got that. He's got allies now.
No, he's not done.
Oh,
he just started it.
Okay, he's met the minimum requirements, and now in order to start that quest.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. He's at least got that far. But with that being done and him now having access to untold shit, we can hopefully either he'll be going to a new location here soon, or he'll have a new target to go towards. Since we still also have Rubia and what's her name working on the gift / other thing.
No, they're just going to take over the kingdom.
Okay.
Or
So,
they're going to just get Rubia to a position of power.
yeah.
And be like, hey, we did this without you. We're big girls now too.
Now you have an army. Let us begin. Something like that. But yeah, so his influence continues to stretch even without him being present or aware of it. So either way, yeah, I'm not sure what we've got next until I actually see what they want him to do, since they didn't really state in that last chapter like what they plan for him.
Like, not actually a lot happened. So
yeah, this was more or less just an end to the situation that got brought up with them about to be, picked up for smuggling, and then his introduction into the group, as well as his completion in getting membership. But beyond that, they didn't really like hint or state like, okay, this is where we need to go next, or this is what we want you to do next. So we do at least know his main objective still is, I gotta find Ashton, if he even exists in this realm or anything, and then also avoid the Imperial family at all costs, because they may secretly be gods.
Like it's obvious, but whatever. I'll wait.
Please don't tell me you think that what I'm thinking right now.
I mean,
really?
I want to say I think we are.
Really?
I think okay. We could be wrong, and if we're wrong, I'm fine with it. But it feels really obvious at this point.
You think the Imperial family is Ashton?
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. What were you thinking?
What do you think I'm thinking, Seraph?
What do you think I'm thinking of?
I think you're thinking of booze.
No, why would Seraph think of booze?
Because that's what I'm thinking of.
No, I was thinking that... Alright, okay, here, let's think of this thing. Coincidentally, Rubia finds a spell that only awakens one skeleton. This skeleton that would have been woken up by the spell, regardless of whoever read it, regardless if you had any sort of knowledge of magic. Okay. We also know that on where the skeleton is, and where his grave is, where his coffin is, his name is wiped from it. Who is he looking for?
Himself?
I feel like I'm pretty sure that's where we're going.
Is Kevin Ashton.
Is Ashton.
Right? Because
I mean, I thought about that too. I won't lie.
We also got to the point where we have it where we saw a skeleton at one moment, he had a moment of clarity where he was like, I know everything, and then he just forgot it again. Like, oh wait, what happened there? And it was like, oh, there actually is someone else. He just has no fucking clue.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, how much of that would be Ashton with even him implanting the fact yeah, but before this, I was a skeleton in, so-and-so's army under Miss Succubus. So just implanted. So just
it's just that was the first run. That's literally what that was.
Oh, okay.
And that run took so fucking long for it to end. That's literally what it was. Because it just so happens to be like he was like, okay, eventually at some point I would die as the skeleton, and then I would end up here because he wasn't expecting a skeleton to live that fucking long. But like, no, it did. Like, and then it finally got to the point where he was like, oh, wait, what's going on? And then now he's looking for it. It's like if you were playing a game, and no, okay, okay, Stevie. We both played Inscription. You need to finish Inscription because you understand exactly where this is going. Where you're like, oh, I thought this was what I was doing, but it wasn't. It was something else the entire time.
Yeah, but that would also mean that I'm the one that created that, and I just forgot because I took too long doing the other thing that I set up.
Yes.
So essentially, it's magic is infinite, but it has a degrading factor on my mental state.
No, I think he purposely locks his memories away because, like, the way Isaac says is like, oh yeah, Kevin definitely knows something, and like he definitely did something where this bypasses regular magic. This is like beyond magic, where you're rewriting actual reality.
It's world magic.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's world level spells. Maybe he should go find the other skeleton. Maybe he can help him. They could be best friends. I think it would be great. Wouldn't that be an awesome crossover? Them meeting Ainz on ghouls?
That sounds like something Peter would love.
That would be fucking
It would be great. Because every time he would kill him, he'd just show back up and he'd be like, the fuck? It's like, yeah, you can't get rid of me, unfortunately. I am a walking world level spell. Get wrecked. Alright. Anything else on those two chapters? Besides this very long-winded theory.
It makes sense, bro. If it's not, I would be perfectly fine. Okay, you can say that it's a red herring, and I'm like, man, that's a perfectly fine red herring. Okay.
Or you basically just gave the rest of the plot for the story for them to fill out, like they were waiting for it.
Right. Or if it's the red herring, then it's like your plot, where it's like, oh no, we find out that Kevin Ashton was the Emperor all along! And he was waiting for the skeleton to defeat the goddess, to break this, to allow him to break reality. Like, that's like, it's either one or two things. It's either the skeleton is Kevin Ashton, or like, the Emperor is Kevin Ashton. So...
Oh yeah, could be. Alright, let's go ahead, we'll move on here to our last one. Closing us out here with Descent of the Demonic Master. We got our throwdown between Junho and the Red King's
Man, it was a throwdown.
friend.
It was like a one-sided shit where Junho was like, bitch, let me show you that you ain't nothing.
Okay, he did not act like that. He was very much respectful, and he's like, hey, I'm grateful that you're here because
he was up until the point where the guy was like, I thought I was a master. He's like, bitch, let me tell you shit. You ain't no shit. Alright? You ain't a master because master never, like, they don't exist. As soon as you stop mastering, that means you're done. You die. There's no growth. And then he's like, oh shit. And then he wakes up.
The words of a cultivator.
And he's like, oh, what? I've actually heard the Messiah. He told me where to go. And that's basically like where the fight happens, which is kind of like forgettable because
he got himself some spirituals. That's what happened.
Yeah, like it is a very much one-sided throwdown where he's like, oh, is this the best you can do? I thought I guess you're a little bit better than I thought, but you're nothing because you don't try anymore. Let me show you what happens when you try, and then
he at least acknowledged, like, oh, thank God, I can continue to get stronger here because everybody I've come up against has been such a pushover that I couldn't ever go anywhere. But now that you've shown up, and I know that there's someone stronger than you.
Everyone were ants, but at least you're a fly. Okay, you're annoying. I'm gonna swat you and then be like, do you see this?
Yeah.
Do you see this hand?
I mean, it was enough to at least acknowledge, like, okay, I at least know that the king is stronger than you, so that means I'll actually have maybe a challenge, or at least a mild workout. if anything, that's at least, you know, a plus for him.
If the king sent you, then tell him this. Bitch, get your ass over here. Do your own dirty work.
I mean, he's got more hands to run, yes, at the end of the day. He's not done. But he at least got, you know, his minor exercise in for it. Yeah.
And then additionally, what's her name's dad, the knight, was like, I'm gonna come work for you now. And he's like, what? Yeah, I'm just gonna come work for you because you seem like you know what you're doing. And he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but can he do this? I mean, it's like if Blizzard just decides to be like, hey, Nintendo, I know you have Reggie, but we really, really want Reggie, so we're just gonna steal him from you. And that's what happened.
More or less, very, very much more or less, you know. Yeah, he it's not unusual though for him. He's gotten more allies and random contacts just by beating down somebody else, or more or less giving them a reason to like, all right, just, you don't need to do this shit anymore. Don't be bad. And they're like, that is a good philosophy. Follow you now. You seem to understand how this works. And yeah, and granted, the daughter told the council, you shouldn't fuck with him. He's not doing anything, but if you do fuck with him, he will do something. And the dad even, like, at first basically told her, like, hey, your job is to be reconnaissance. You're not supposed to give feedback. And then even before they decided to make the decision, he's like, she might still have a point. And after coming there and, you know, more or less brokering the deal to get the Cavaliers back, you know, he's like, you know, I just saw you beat the crap out of that, you know, that guy who is second to the Red King. I'm probably going to join your team now. Cause yeah.
I'm doubling down. Yeah. I'm going to cash in and like just put everything on you. It's fine. Everything on 0. Like that's literally what it was.
I mean, yeah.
I'm like, man, you've met this guy like for less than 24 hours, and you're like, I'm putting all my chips in right here in this basket, and I was like, I guess, but I feel like
his greatest power is
take financial advice from you.
I mean, his greatest power is he can see who the MC is, and that's always a good key to have.
I guess.
He just sees the giant player icon rolling above his head, and he's like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm just supposed to be here for support, and that's totally fine. Yeah. Nothing too much else out of those 3 chapters, though, really. It was more or less the introduction of the Red King's new fighter, him making the challenge stance to Jinho, the dad deciding to want to meet him on behalf of the council, the fight, and just the after effect of the fight. Which just turned into, like you said, him basically, oh, I have seen the master's true worth, and I shall continue to rise and become stronger. I don't know if this means if we'll see homeboy Jinho as well, or at least like want to get some lessons.
Jinho definitely was like, no, don't worry, he's not a problem anymore. What? How do you know he's not a problem anymore? And Jinho probably like committed like an illusion or something.
Maybe.
That was like basically put him through a lesson and be like, bitch, you ain't done yet. Let me show you that you can go even further beyond.
Just had him sit down and gave him a true lesson of Goku real quick, just to show him, no, this isn't the end of training. This is just when the training starts. You still have a whole lot more to go through. Yeah. So, yeah, that pretty much covers it for those 3 chapters, unless there was something else I missed in there. Anything else you guys wanted to speak on? No other word on our in-world waifu, since she's still in. Is she in China now?
China.
Yep, she's still in China. The orphanage is, I think, completely in the background. Really, it's fine. One dude is still taking care of it. We haven't heard anything about the pizza business.
It's fine.
And his other friend, I think he's running that.
It's fine.
Yeah. Everything seems to be okay at this moment.
Nothing is burning. It's fine.
Yes, that is true. Nothing is burning yet. We still have a challenge from the king pretty much in standing right now, since he's now issued it back at him. So we'll have to see when that comes to head front at any point here. But all right, I think that's it for this one, though. I think we are all good, unless there were any other comments there from you two. Nope. Seraph? Nope. All right. Well, that does bring us to the end for this episode, and actually will bring us to the end of this season for the Project WEBTOONs podcast. We're going to go ahead and take a little break here. Let everyone enjoy their holiday weekends coming up. I'm sure that we've got, Seraph, you're probably going to be rolling out of town to go see family and friends. I know I'm going to be...
Sometime January I'll be on.
Yeah, and I'm going to be busy here taking care of all of mine. We'll definitely reconvene. We'll keep probably doing a few little side things. I'm going to take this time to actually go ahead and do some teardown and restructure for a few different things. Get us set up and ready for next year. See if we can make out new schedules and find some new time to do all this. But yeah, I did want to just say thanks to both of you two for joining me for this year. I know it's been kind of fucked up, kind of crazy with schedules and everything, as well as everybody else out there for joining us on all of these little side adventures we've been having. As always, definitely keep connected here with the podcast in any way. Watch some of the older episodes. Watch some of the new little side cuts we have. I'm going to be trying to redo some of the recommendeds that we had up, but I took down since they were getting struck pretty hard, and I think that was because a lot of the major Webtoon publishers were rewriting the algorithm and going out after people. So I'm trying to figure out my way around that kind of right now. So hopefully I'll get those back up here at some point. But without that, anything else there? Anything else you boys want to say before we close this out?
They shouldn't be striking us down. We're doing nothing but giving them like free fucking publicity. Right?
I mean, that's all it is. I mean, well, we give some of them. We give them free publicity. It's not always positive.
I mean, that's fair.
How long has God of High School been on hiatus now?
It's fine. I believe it's my fault.
As long as you've acknowledged it, we're all good then. I'm not taking any responsibility for that.
Take credit.
Okay, good to know. All right, well, let's go ahead and we'll close this out for this season. Seraph, you want to lead us in the outro, whatever. The exit.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this final season of season 2 of the Project WEBTOON podcast. If you guys leave a like. Make sure to check out all of our stuff down in the description down below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys want to keep updated with all of our videos. Make sure to hit that little bell as well.
Yes.
I know, but okay.
Yes, the final episode of this season.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, leading us out, it's your big man, Sleepy.
Boy Surfer.
And this is Archer Goon out.
Hey, everyone take it easy and have a good holiday.
No.